Minato Namikaze, aka the fourth Hokage, aka the Yellow Flash of the Leaf, aka the drippiest character in all of Naruto, actually tends to get a lot of respect put on his name, but I think it's typically from a power scaling perspective or because he's just objectively cool. I don't see too much dialogue regarding his storyline. The most I've ever seen is people critiquing how he handled the Nine-Tails situation and how he should have just let Kurama die with Kushina, but I personally believe that he is one of the best stories in the entire series. Most of the screen time that Minato receives is when he's reanimated during the Fourth Great Ninja War, but we get some really rich storytelling during this time for his character. For the entire series, we see and hear glimpses of Minato, and he's hailed as a prodigy who was one of the greatest, fastest, and most talented shinobi to ever live, a man who embodied what it meant to be Hokage, as he gave his life to save the Leaf Village from the Nine-Tails. Minato does not fail to live up to these standards upon his arrival to the war, as he saves the entire Shinobi Alliance by teleporting a Ten-Tails tailed beast bomb immediately and arrives to the battlefield considerably faster than the other three reanimated Hokage. Once the other Hokage catch up to him, it is also revealed that Minato has been reanimated with half of Kurama, meaning that he can also enter KCM. The gleam in his son's eyes after Minato enters KCM says it all. Naruto looks up to Minato not only as his dad, but as the level of shinobi that he hopes to be one day. Once Obito re-emerges from the Kamui dimension, the Minato feats continue, as the entire Shinobi Alliance was charging full speed towards Obito, yet Minato is able to instantly speed blitz and slit his throat with his shadow clone, beating everyone to him, with the reveal that a Flying Thunder God mark never fades. There's another important reveal in this moment, however, and that is Minato coming to the realization that the man who attacked the village and was responsible for killing his wife was his own student, Obito. This revelation is when things start to crumble for Minato. His entire life he was a prodigy who seemingly did no wrong, but in this moment he starts to view himself as a failure. This idea of Minato as a failure is rubbed in by Obito as his former student lectures him, saying, "You're always too late when it matters most. You didn't even recognize that it was me, but that's just who you are fundamentally." These words, as described by the manga, send Minato into a mental daze, as he begins to spiral down a mental rabbit hole of how so many things could have been different if he had just realized who the man under the mask was. We see that he's in a daze as Tobirama manages to teleport Obito's truth-seeking orb before Minato does, despite the fact that Minato should be considerably faster, and Tobirama states himself that Minato is superior at using the teleportation technique. This mental spiral is only truly broken when Minato's half of Kurama tells him to stop regretting his actions and explains how Naruto was able to sweet-talk his other half, meaning that it went exactly as Minato had planned for it to go. This pep talk of sorts from Kurama does get Minato back into the fight, as he stops regretting his decisions and teams up with Naruto, leading to the great father-son giant Rasengan moment, and Minato saving the entire Shinobi Alliance yet again by teleporting everyone out of the Crimson Ray barrier. While his mental daze is broken, Minato is still viewing himself as a failure, as he tells Tobirama that he must do more even after Tobirama acknowledges that Minato has just saved the Shinobi world twice over now. This feeling that he hasn't done enough yet just goes to show that Minato is still carrying the burden of Obito's words. As Obito alluded to earlier, Minato is seemingly always too late when it matters most. Death follows him like a shadow. He couldn't save Obito from his fate in the cave, he couldn't save Rin from the hidden Mist Shinobi, he couldn't even save his own wife from having the Nine-Tails extracted from her. This type of fixation on his shortcomings is relatable because in truth, we are typically our own hardest critics, which is why Minato could be viewed by so many as the gold standard of what a shinobi should be, but as a failure in his own eyes. But in a beautiful play on the theme of Minato always being too late, when Kakashi is about to kill Obito, Minato arrives just in time to save him. This moment plays as a great passing of the torch in a sense, as Minato bestows one last lesson onto his former student Kakashi, from one Hokage to a future Hokage, and finally isn't too late to save Obito. Minato might not have been able to recognize Obito when he attacked the Leaf Village, but in the end, he spared his life and took full responsibility for not preventing Obito from falling down a dark path. While Minato goes on to do a few more things in the war arc, this is truly the crescendo of his thematic story, and what a beautiful and symbolic ending to a story it is. The prodigy, the gold standard of shinobi, the fastest man alive, always too late when it matters most, finally arrives just in the nick of time to save his fallen student, in a way redeeming his self-perceived failure. All in all, Minato is a character that was almost an enigma for most of the series, with only glimpses of him being seen, but just enough for the audience to know that he was the real deal as far as high-level shinobi go. But the emotions involved every time he's on screen is likely something fans did not foresee. From his beautiful love story with Kushina, where he saves her and finally gives her a sense of belonging in the Leaf Village, to his emotional sacrifice and death scene on the night of the Nine-Tails attack, to his emotional goodbye with his son where he wishes him a happy birthday before returning to the afterworld. Minato is at the heart of many of the show's best and most emotional moments, and his story is one of the best of the entire show, despite his lack of screen time, in my opinion. Thank you for watching this breakdown of Minato's story. If you enjoyed and are interested in further explorations of screen stories, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe.